You're listening to a Countout Podcast. What it is, what's up? New year, new beginning, new champion, new Ichiban Sweetcast. We exist. Well, one of us exists. One of us is in more of a half corporeal poltergeist-like state as he sleepwalks through his life on the verge of death. How you doing?
You look more and more like Rick Rubin every day, the producer for
Slipknot. He once threw a pot plant at Sid's head from Slipknot. I know that.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, he's very eccentric looking fellow with a great big bushy beard, and I think that's what you're slowly turning into. But I appreciate it. Here's
pure
the thing.
white. It is that of a ghost.
It is pure white. You are losing that red coloring. It's going away.
And you know what? I'm ready to change. I've been a ranger, as we call it in Australia, for 42 years of my life, and I'm ready to be a wise wizard.
Dude, you are looking very Merlin-esque right now.
If I take out the hair, the hair's still got a bit of red in it, but it's getting quite long. My goal is to just be like Merlin spec. That's what I'll.
Yeah, you've definitely gone past the like sea captain into wizard territory.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's the thing.
We're alive.
Here's the thing. We're live. We're back. We took a couple weeks off after after the double dome shows.
Did we talk about that? I don't even remember. Did we do an episode?
We did. We did do a review.
There you go. Look at that. Exactly.
So,
my wizardly brain has got other things on its mind. Spells and orbs and concoctions, and I can't remember what this podcast does. Yeah, exactly. So that's it.
We did forget how to podcast, I think.
We did forget, but apparently my desk is remembering and it hasn't cut us off yet, and we're about to hit that 3-minute mark. So if it cuts off in the next 10 seconds, we know that officially is a thing, but if not, hey, let's go. But yeah, we had a little bit of a slower start to the year, let all the build up to New Beginning happen. We ourselves have to do all the things that everybody else does in a new year and getting back into life. So now it's time to start, and New Japan delivered a hell of a fucking show a statement show, in my opinion, like to restart the
10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, it was hot, dude. It was really, really hot. So despite my very busy schedule, because those who know that if you add up the dates and move things around and carry the one, AEW is in Brisbane tomorrow night. I am now looking at the clock, and it is nearly 5 p.m. Perth, West Australia time. Within a few hours, I'll be in Fremantle watching Lorna Shore until midnight, coming home, couple of hours sleep, literally 4, get up, go to the airport, go to AW, and then flying back the next day, and then all-day festival. But I will get to meet the Stiffies, the WeWork Stiff Boys, Josh and Dave, in person, so it's all going to be worthwhile. I think there's some wrestling happening as well, I'm not sure. But that's
not a lot, evidently, is what everyone's saying.
They won't fucking tell us anything. So yeah, you never know who'll show up and what will happen. So
yeah. Well,
the wrestling was going to get in the way of the drinking anyway. So I'm glad that we're slimming that down. Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna have some Jake and Josh and Dave time, Dave and Josh time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know who Jake is. Hi, Jake. Yeah. How are you?
Any Jakes in the world? Shout out.
Yeah.
All of you.
Shout out to friend of the podcast, everyone named Jake.
Yeah.
So the big news, of course, Hiroki Goto has done it. He has gone from, has been, not even has been. He's gone from never was, never would be to the champion, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. WHW stands for wholesome. The G in IWGP stands for Godo.
It does.
It's happened, bro.
It has happened.
How?
I never
Oh
thought
my
I'd see the
God.
day. Always the bridesmaid, like never the bride for his entire career. His last world title match, he came up short. That everybody thought that
9
was the
years
big
ago.
9 years to the day, and Godo's done it.
That is fucking wild.
It
That
is
fucking wild.
insane. The timeline we live in. At one point, we claimed was cursed. Now I'm starting to think it's actually the true timeline, and I'm
Nature is healing.
Nature is
healing.
Nature is healing. Because when you think about the story, and if you don't mind me waxing lyrical for a hot second, because I got a little bit passionate about this during the G1 and after it, and I think we all
both
just
did, yeah.
need to take a second to just reflect on what it took and how crazy wrestling is to be at this moment. You know, for Godo to be where he is. When you think about where he was before last year, he was in a pretty successful tag team, and it really felt like he is going to go down as the one half of the best tag team that New Japan ever did, and that will be the feather in his cap, and that's the gold watch they're giving him, and that's what it's going to be, right? And we thought it's never going to be anything more than that. But what ends up happening is the New Japan Cup was announced, and he was the only dad, I use that as, you know, the older wrestler, seasoned wrestler, senpai wrestler, to be entered into the tournament, really. It was all new faces, and everyone's like, Godo can go, throw him in there, probably his last one too, whatever, right? Finlay gets injured, sick, whatever it was. So they go, tap on the shoulder, Godo, we need you to deliver a banger final with Tsuji and get it done.
Yeah.
And
Godo's like, I gotta clear it by the wife real fast. I had
Yeah.
a fishing
Once that
trip
was signed
planned.
off, he was like, hold my fucking beer. And he went out there and reminded everybody who the fuck he was. And we were all left going, oh shit. We just thought that the main 5-star wrestlers, the guys that delivered like the bangers, we thought two of the biggest names in the company just left. We thought there was kind of almost an end to that era. We're like, Shingo's still here, you know, but Ospreay's gone, Okada's gone. Everybody, there's a power vacuum who can step into the void. Fucking lone gunslinger Godo goes, no worries, fam, I got you. Fucking goes in, makes Tsuji, and absolutely delivers a banger. And everybody goes, oh, fuck, I forgot how good Godo is, eh? That's fucking awesome. Then the G1 comes around. Godo's back in. We're like, let's go. Let's fucking go. And we did the draft with the Stiff Boys. Who drafted Godo? Your fucking boy.
I believe Rafe Copernicus Houston
Exactly.
drafted Goto in the
really
G1
just because I wanted to watch him. And also because he was in the other block and I needed to make up numbers. And I was like,
well, and you were like, oh man, he had such a banger New Japan Cup.
I was like, maybe he
I
can
think there's
fucking
big
get it
stuff
going. Yeah, exactly. And then as that G1 played out, it was like, this is a different landscape. Maybe he can fucking go far in this. Like, maybe he can get to the final. Maybe Godo could win the fucking G1. Who knows? He's done before, right? Like, maybe they go, you know what? We need a steady hand on the tiller here. Let's fucking lean on old mate Godo. And there's worse things you could do. And that seems like sort of safe, but weird booking, but okay, and we'll let it play out. G1 plays out in what I think was one of the most genuine, wholesome, organic, like, builds for a wrestler ever. Don't you think? Like, because you're left like everybody just slowly, like there was this rumble, and you can look at previous G1s and there's not that. You know what I mean? It felt different. It felt like Godo was the hope now. Like,
you can just go back to G Wonderings and listen to us both. Like, you weren't even covering his block, and you were still just like, I got to talk about this.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Absolutely, because he was just killing it. And we were like, this is the fucking time. He's gonna pull the trigger. Or something's gonna happen. So anyway, that doesn't happen. And there was many times when, like, you know, they're going to do the global stuff and things like that. And I'm like, are these motherfuckers not watching? Are they not paying attention? They did that Korakuen Hall thing and the kids are in the ring and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, I guess that's it for Godo. I guess it's just, New Japan, they kind of did a thing and then now they're moving on to something else and we're never talking about it again. But what's crazy is they did pay attention and they were like, what happened then was very special. And a lot of people were really into it. And they're like, we have our plans and we're going to do the Zack stuff. And he's going to be like the first dude to win G1 and then call his shot early and then walk in and walk out of the dome on 2 nights. And all these things are going to happen. And it's like, and he did a lot of defenses during that time, but it ain't going to be forever. And now we're going to do something that fucking shocks everybody to start the new year.
Yep.
And they did it
let's real
first.
quick.
They did I just got to say, they did the chaos thing because chaos had been muddled for a long time. Goto stood up and said, I am the leader of chaos. And then they were talking about that in the match. And I was like, they can't not have the new leader of chaos win here.
Right.
But even then, I still, in my doubt of doubts and in watching New Japan for so long, I couldn't even envision Goto really winning though. You know what I mean? And then when it happened, my fucking brain exploded. Like it was amazing.
What a like I mean, let's pour one out for Zack Sabre Jr.'s title run.
Absolutely.
Four,
Absolutely. He was amazing.
Defenses. He held the belt for like what, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
Really good first title reign. Some people when they get their first title reign, they get like a V1 or a V0. Not our Zack Sabre Jr.
But also used it to build his faction as well.
Yeah.
He didn't just lift himself, he lifted every single member of TMDK into bigger slots because of that belt. Like that's how you fucking use it, don't you think? He raised everybody and he'd sit on the ring with those guys and he'd shout them out in promos and shit like that. And he took everybody, was like, okay, TMDK's like, mid-level faction or whatever. And now they feel like one of the main factions in New Japan because he did that. Like, and I think it really, like he just did it so well. And we don't know, maybe we'll speculate at the end of this. Like we don't know how long Goto's run may go for. He might be like 0 defenses. Or 1 defense, you know what I mean? But the fact that he got there and they've continued this trend with the new belt since they've reset it to go, now anybody can get a look in and it's not though I missed the V4 and the sort of hallowed ground that was, it had been built to a point where it was almost unwinnable in like a lot of ways, because the legacy
Tanahashi or Okada, you just didn't get it.
The legacy was just so heavy. Like that came with it. And so now they're building a new legacy and they're, I think doing it really well.
I think so too. The idea that anybody can win the title has really it's gotten a Zack Sabre Jr. title reign. It's gotten a Jon Moxley title reign. We're not going to talk about how these title reigns, whether they're good title reigns or not, but like you've got your Moxley, you've got your Zack Sabre Jr. and now Hiroki Goto. Dude, like I said, not a has-been, a never was. And now he's on top of the world.
Yeah. And
like
you could see
got his kids in Osaka Joe Hall. The streamers are coming down. I'm crying. You're crying.
He's talking about his father that passed away that didn't get to see it.
Oh my God, dude.
Like,
there's going to be video of him taking that belt to his father's fucking graveside. And at that point, I will fucking
die.
Bawl.
Yeah.
I'll bawl my goddamn eyes out like a little kid with a skim knee.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to fucking, I'm going to love every bit of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch every fucking title match of his. And whether I'm cheering for him or cheering for the guy I'm going to be so anxious
invested,
going like, how far can Goto go?
Yeah.
How far can he go?
And I love that. You were talking about it in the G1 drink stuff and things like that. You were like, Goto's the wall, right? Like he's the guy that's like, this new generation is great, but they're going to need to go through me to be tested. Now he's literally saying that. He's like, I'm the fucking standard. And I don't think he's going to go like defenseless because, I mean, he's already lined up defenses against Tanahashi and Nagata. And I don't think either guy is going to win the title off him. I mean, Tanahashi, maybe. You could get Tanahashi Final Road where he's just the champion. But I don't think Tanahashi's going to do that. I think he's going to lay down for his fucking friend who never got a fucking chance before. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Sorry, it's Pugmania going wild out over there.
He's a big Goto guy.
Yeah, exactly. I've also got a dog wanting to be a dog here. Hey, come here. Oh, quick dog break. Toot, toot, toot. So, but yeah, I think there's going to be great things. And the great thing about Goto is he has all that experience. Oi, shut the fuck up. He has all that experience, but he can still go. Even in his post-match thing, he thanked his body for not giving up on him. And, like, it's so true. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, like, we all feel that, right? You feel it, I feel it right now. We were just talking, you're like, you know, I got this wrong with me, I got this wrong with me. I'm like, oh shit, I got this. Where's my back medicine? You know?
Yeah.
Fucking sucks being an old man.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. It's so cool that like now we're at a spot where we can watch not our not people we grew up with or anything like that, but like people who are about our age. Hey, we're still vital.
Yeah.
We're still young. We're still able to become champions.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
How old is Goto? Do we know?
45?
45. Older than me, you say?
I think so. I believe so. Because he came in with Tanahashi.
I love as well that he's not like
oh my god, we both got crazy fucking dogs.
Yeah, driving me wild. I may even have a visitor. The thing that
is 44 years old.
44, there you go, too.
Sorry, he just turned 45.
Oh, there you go. Well, the thing is as well about him is like when you think about like older champions and like the, you know, Noah era of like Keiji Muto being cooked and holding the belt and stuff like that. We have an older champion who can absolutely go and can absolutely guide these younger challengers through what it's like to do a New Japan main event. Absolutely lead them through it. I mean, he just did it at the New Japan Cup final. Like he just did that shit.
Yeah, like Goto's one of those guys. He's a safe worker. He's a stable worker. Like we talked about how when there was a lot of upheaval with the belt during COVID times that we needed to just put it on Shingo.
Yeah.
Let Shingo have a run with it. Let Shingo stabilize everything. And I feel like this is really Goto's time to do that, to be that stabilizing factor, to be the foundation that everything is on. He's not the big like Western star like Zack Sabre Jr. He's a dojo boy gone. He is done right. And I think that he's going to be able to sell that a little better than anybody else in the company right now.
Absolutely. And he also can do that like wounded old gunslinger that's just still going, you know, like there's chinks in the armor. He's absolutely beatable. Absolutely a beatable champion. But it's like, can he get it done? Does he have the experience and the fucking know-how to just keep taking down these young challengers? You know what I mean? Like if he gets to that point, as I said, he's got a couple of old challengers first, but like maybe I
was gonna say young challengers like Hiroshi Tanahashi and Blue Justice.
You mean like when they did the TV title thing that they were like just for the young wrestlers, and then like Ishii's fucking fighting for it and shit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like I envision that after them, we're probably gonna see some younger challengers. But I'm wondering
we'll get a
if
shooter fight. We'll get a.
I was gonna say, do we want to speculate on potential challenges and dream matchups now, or do you want to run back to the start of the card real quick, go through everything, talk about the match itself a little bit, and then do predictions before jumping into New Japan Cup? Or fuck it, let's just keep it going. Or you want to do that?
Let's go through the card, the proper card.
Okay, then cool. Let's do that, but we'll get to this in good time. We're obviously excited. We had to touch on it, but once we get to that match, we'll definitely talk about some predictions and some kind of things ways we can see it go. So anyway, we'll do this as a bit of a speed round because we do want to touch on the New Japan Cup as well. Kickoff match was the United Empire, Francesco Akira and Jeff Cobb defeating El Desperado and Katsuya Murashima.
Young Lion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this was the like before the bell type match that they do, but it did
Yep.
lead to a bit of a sort of stare down between Akira and Despy and kind of lining up
Well,
Akira to be
it
the
led
next
to
challenger. Yeah.
it led to Akira pinning Despy
Yeah.
and saying, "I got your number, bitch. Give me a title shot."
Mhm.
And I'm really excited for that. I think seeing a big match Akira is going to be a lot of fun, and I think the fire of Akira with
Mhm.
the like uh, cocky sort of carefree attitude of El Desperado is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be good, and um, they've had good matches before in like Best of Super
Mhm.
Juniors and stuff. So I think that'll be
I
a
was
really
really concerned that they were going to feed that young lion to Jeff Cobb.
oh
I was just like,
that's
oh
that
no.
young lad that got killed by all of Bullet Club as well, isn't it?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Nah, it was just a fun tag. Then the show got started, and we started with a Tanahashi final road match, defeating Togi Makabe, who was one of the first people to beat him apparently when he
Yeah.
first graduated as Young Lion. So we're going to see a bit of a like best of Tanahashi as he avenges victories and and things like that. It was good to see Makabe. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, and he actually did work a little bit for this match. It wasn't like
Yeah, the bumpo
you
meter
know,
was working. He's definitely put on a couple of kgs, but he was
he's
in there.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was fun.
I still wouldn't want to fight him.
No, absolutely not. It kicked the fuck out of me. But yeah, that was what it was, and it's fun, and I'm enjoying that we're getting this kind of like last year of Tanahashi. So I think it's gonna be really good. Next up, fucking banger alert. Singles match, Driller Maloney defeating Shingo Takagi. Now, I didn't think this was a small win by any means, because normally when
No.
guys graduate to, heavyweight for the first time, they normally taken a few losses, let alone stepping in and just wasting Shingo with like a driller killer.
Yeah.
Like fucking, that
It
was a
wasn't even
big
like a
push
thing.
for Maloney.
He had him up on his shoulder. Like, you ever seen Commando? Like the first time you see Arnold Schwarzenegger and he's got a log and a chainsaw under
Yeah,
his
yeah,
arm.
yeah, yeah,
He's got the log over his shoulder. That's how he was carrying Shingo like that. And he's like, "Let me just flip you over here, right here, driller killer."
yeah.
And it was just fucking fantastic, man.
And he's just got everything you need as well. I am sad that he cut his hair because I did enjoy the hair, but he's got the look, he's got the body, he can talk, he's got a fucking killer moveset, he's got like a viral finishing maneuver. It's like a murder maneuver. Like he's just so
Absolutely,
over.
yeah,
Like
lights out.
absolutely.
Nobody's kicking out of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then fucking Clarku on comms, like just losing his mind for everything that Dan was doing, like just added to it so much. I had a great time, man.
You go.
Oh,
We both looked
well,
at each other like we're going to say something, and then there was a standoff where we just stared at each
There
other.
was a
But
standoff.
Clarku was good
No.
on commentary for this, I thought.
Clarku was really good, and he did make a joke about, "Hey, I'm the first CC that's been on commentary this year," or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
That was
Brutal.
Oh, everybody misses Charlton.
Yeah, it was absolute bullshit. We won't get started on that trash. But
lose my
yeah,
fucking mind again.
what are you thinking for Driller going forward? I'm seeing a bright future for that man for sure.
I love him. I'd love to see him. I want to see like him versus Takeshita. I want to see him versus Suji. Just all the big like young dudes.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, we had a hair versus hair match. Great Card defeating Shota Umino, getting rid of that hairstyle that we have given shit to for quite a while ago.
Fucking God.
What are we looking at with Shota Umino here? Are we reverting to Young Lion? Are we starting from scratch?
I don't
Is that the
know if
story?
that's going to be the story where he like has to go and like rediscover who he is or something.
I think that's absolutely what it is. I don't know. I don't mean he'll like technically be a Young Lion, but I could see himself stripping himself back to like black.
The look on his face when he was being led back up the aisle with his hair, shorn,
Yeah.
and like there was like shame and anger and a hint of something dark. And
Mm.
I'm really hoping that maybe instead of going back to Young Lion and because I want him to evolve into something that's not Tanahashi cosplay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think if you've got white meat baby face, yeah, we got dudes for that. We don't need you for that.
Yeah.
Let's give you something a little bit of danger.
Yeah.
You
And I
know,
think we've showed
you
that it hasn't really hit either. You know what I mean? Like there was he definitely had fans. It was not a failure. And I mean, the man main evented Wrestle Kingdom. You know what I mean? But I think there's something else there. Like you say, that kind of cosplay sort of vibe that he had. I think he can find something in himself that is different.
get some new fucking gear. Jesus fucking Christ. Just show
Absolutely.
some respect. Show some
Speaking
self-respect.
of people getting new gear and maybe taking it too far, I didn't know that Sonata worships Slanesh, but he is Noise Marine apparently.
He looked like a create a character from fucking Jet Grind Radio. Like he was so I looked at my wife and said, "What the fuck is this asshole wearing?"
It's funny, Amy wasn't with me to watch it, but I got a message on Instagram for her that said, "What the fuck is this asshole wearing?" And it was literally like the screenshot of him.
He looked so fucking silly, man. Like normally you can count on Sonata to at least have a cool fucking look.
Mm,
Like that, like his old like crazy like ghost pirate. I loved that shit. I
mm,
thought that was so cool.
mhm.
His look
Just his
when he first
initial
had
like
his
black skull, like mohawk type look that he had was pretty
yeah,
badass.
or when he first shaved his beard and won the title and he had that like silk robe with like the clasp that was the skeleton hand on it.
Mm.
He looked great. He looked great in all those. And then he comes out with like LOD shoulder pads, but instead of spikes, he's got like fucking tweeters. What the fuck is this?
Serious. I know that he like maybe he's trying to say something like he always be pointing to his ear. Maybe he's like literally I have tinnitus. Like I can't hear what any of you are saying because I've got these fucking Bluetooth speakers on my shoulders at full volume.
Yeah.
Either way,
I mean,
he's tried something.
that's
You know what I mean? He's throwing shit at the wall. So good on him. I did not pay as much attention to this match as I thought I did. Now I'm thinking it back. But I do know that Tai Chi was robbed as always, but we then saw the return of Yuya. And how were you feeling about that when you saw him running in?
pretty fucking hype.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they robbed Taichi, we're just gonna keep moving with the story. That's fine. The match wasn't bad.
Mhm.
It was pretty good. Taichi brought a lot out of Sonata, which I mean, Taichi always brings the best out of Sonata.
Yeah.
Every time we've seen anything from Sonata, it was either Taichi or Zack Sabre Jr. So
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
then I'm
And
like,
Suji that one
okay.
time.
And Suji that one time.
Mhm.
Um the idea that this Yuya is gonna run in and stick up for Taichi kind of makes me sad. But on the night, man, I was fucking hype.
Yeah.
Seeing Yuya run in, I was like, oh shit, it is time.
Yeah. I
So
wasn't sure, to be honest. I felt like it would probably go that kind of way, but I wasn't sure if Yuya would be ready yet. And I was thinking maybe we'll see like a new member of the guys. You know what I mean? Make a save or
go
something.
back to selling the just five guys shirts.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've gone from
keep
just four
jumping
guys
around.
to just five guys, back to just four guys, and now we're gonna go.
They should
add
lose
a
another
fifth
guy just so
again.
they can print a whole new run of just three guys.
Just three guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Because see,
I mean, Doki's on the shelf right now, so
technically it is just three guys. So
it
there
is
you
just
go.
three guys.
Tar could be like print them, so
Yeah.
anyway.
Taka's got him. He's selling him out of the trunk of his fucking Mitsubishi.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But yeah, anyway, we always want the best for Tai Chi. Hopefully one day we'll be like having this same conversation we just had about Goto, but about Tai Chi. That would be amazing.
Oh, that's the dream.
But
Isn't it?
yeah, his assignment is literally fucking train Yuya at the moment, and he's doing a pretty great job. So, next up was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match. Ichiban Sweet Boys, Vegeta and Robbie with Hartley Jackson defeating Roppongi. What Revice as well. Jesus Christ. Rocky Romero and Yo. Love the Ichiban
This
Sweet
was
Boys.
fun. I really thought that Robbie fucked himself up.
Yeah, so did I when he hit that railing. I thought he'd Eddie Kingston himself for sure. But he's
Yeah, I
about
was
to
like,
wrestle
oh, dude.
fucking Lee Moriarty in fucking Brisbane tomorrow, so I guess he's
Oh,
okay.
that's gonna fuck. Let's
Yeah.
go.
That is the match I'm most excited for like the ROH Pure title or whatever.
You love Lee Moriarty.
I do,
so,
I do.
Like seeing Robbie,
Mm.
your friend, my hero, Robbie Eagle's
Mm.
gonna fucking come out and wrestle Lee Moriarty. That's
Yeah.
you gotta have pants down for that.
If I could choose like anybody on the AEW roster now to get a bigger push and a bigger highlight, it'd be Lee Moriarty. I think he's so fucking talented. But yeah, very excited for that. And the Sweet Boys are always really good. And Yo's peck popping was next level. I will say that.
Oh man, he was on it. Yeah, he
he's
was
looking.
he was
But I
hitting
could
that shit hard.
never see this team again, though. I don't care about Rocky Romero.
I don't care about Rocky Romero.
Sorry,
anymore.
Rocky, but like it's done. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, never open weight title match. Konosuke Takeshita defeating
Boy.
Oleg Bolton.
Boy, did I book this match?
I think
I booked this match.
I think you might have.
I was like looking at the card and I went, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Fucking, feeling myself here. Like, oh, would you book me? I'd book me. Goodbye, horses. I was loving this shit, dude. I was
your
like
dream.
I was like bouncing in my chair like a fucking 8-year-old that had too much fucking sugar. I was loving it, man. What a fucking match. What a good fucking time.
Yeah.
And it shows like their trust in Bolton,
Mhm.
They were like, what can you do? What can you do with Takeshita? Boom, go have fun.
Yeah.
They gave him the spot at was it Dash where he got to wrestle against War Master
Mhm.
and Josh Barnett, and that was fucking awesome. And I think that like big shit is coming for young Bolton Oleg, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking here for it, buddy.
Absolutely. And obviously Takeshita now, a more permanent sort of place in the roster. And it's a good place. It's a good place. I'm going to see him wrestle. This is a fucking match tomorrow at the AEW show. Osprey and Omega versus Fletcher and Takeshita. Tag.
Oof.
That's spicy, eh? That's good.
You got like every level of ace. You've got the older ace, the current aces, and then like the up and coming ace.
Yeah. In one match. Yeah.
In one match. That's pretty sick, bro.
Yeah. And if there's one thing I know about those four men, none of them half step. They don't actually have the ability to do, like, we're not seeing T-shirt Kenny like in this.
There's no RKO rest holds coming from that match.
No, absolutely. So yeah, that's hot. Next up, IWGP Tag Team Title match, LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito defeating the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, and then it's all come full circle. The sanctity of Tag League has been restored, and the fucking guys that won the Tag League just won the heavyweight titles again. I didn't see it coming.
I DNW'd this fucking match. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go in the other room and make myself a cup of tea, maybe some pasta.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just not in the mood to watch a fucking Young Bucks match right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, I haven't seen Young Bucks in so long. I was like, they're great. Like, especially in Japan as well. Nick Jackson just cracks me up so much because he talks so much all through the match, and he's so funny. Like in all the shit, like he's always swearing at people and doing shit and fucking yelling and yeah, they work really well in Japan, I think.
Their matches where you just know that they at all times they have this weird radar sense where they know exactly where the other one is. It's like the fucking Corsican brothers. Like they know exactly it's so magical.
It reminded me like why I thought they were so good back in the day. Because there was a time they were like my favorite wrestlers in the world, like they really loved everything they did and being the elite and everything like that. And I was like, this is shadows of what they used to be. And they fit well here. It works here, Absolutely. Next up, IWGP Global Heavyweight title match. Now, did this fucking
brother.
match have a big fight feel or what? Like, does Gabe Kidd know
Brother.
how to not deliver a big fight feel? Gabe Kidd versus Yoda Tsuji, trunk alert, new
Trunk
Dax.
alert, new Dax, baby.
Tsuji reveals the trunks, and I'm like, oh, Gabe's not winning today.
Nope. But then Gabe came out in his new big fight. I'm the protector of New Japan Trunks, which is, that's something like if he's just gonna start breaking those out for his big matches, I dig it. I love this like hero to the people of New Japan, Gabe. Like I'm not, I'm not this punk anymore. I'm this dude who comes out and I will fucking protect the sanctity
Yeah.
of New Japan. I fucking love it. And they went hard. Like I was sitting there watching this and I'm like, is this the match of the year so far? Like
Yeah.
there was Gabe and Kenny was good, but this is fucking great. Like I was
Are you
was
saying you
really
enjoyed
excited.
it more than Gabe and Kenny?
I don't know. Technically, Gabe and Kenny was like an AEW show, so maybe this is the New Japan match of the year or something so far for me. But it's high up there, buddy.
It was good.
It's
though.
definitely
It was
like
very good. Yeah.
I don't usually go
fucking
higher than like a
hard-hitting,
5-star rating for anything. Like I'll like my favorite movie is Ghostbusters. That's a 5 out of 5 movie for me.
Yeah.
But also, like the other day, I just watched that movie Infinity Pool. That's a 5 out of 5 movie for me. It's not Ghostbusters, but it's the same rating as Ghostbusters because that's the scale, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So when I say Kenny and Gabe is a 5 out of 5 match, a fucking Yoda Tsuji and Gabe is a 5 out of 5 match. That spot where Tsuji turned around and knocked the shit out of Gabe with that fucking slap.
Yeah. That was
Manly.
huge. It was huge. The
Dude, I had a friend of mine who doesn't even watch New Japan. He's an AEW guy, and he was just like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And like sent me a gif of that, and I was like, yeah, buddy, that match fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, Tsuji was looking real good. It was definitely Tsuji's best match, I think. Probably Tsuji's best match, easy.
Man,
I mean, him and Goto was really good, but he's leveling up fast now. Like he's absolutely leveling up.
And he's just a little bit older than the other guys. He's a little bit older than Shooter. He's a little bit older than Gabe. He's a little bit older than Yo.
He's leaning out as well. I noticed, like, fucking might have just been the trunk speaking, but yeah, he was looking. Maybe he's been bulking for a bit or something. But I was like, oh, he's fucking he's leaning out.
I like that. Great O'Khan is like putting on a little weight.
Yeah,
so he looks like more intimidating.
Yeah, O'Khan should absolutely get bigger. Yeah,
yeah.
And they've got we barely even talked about because we got distracted about Shooter, but the low key Great O'Khan just like winning now is cool. Like they're building him as well, like as this like dominant, probably soon to be leader of United Empire, and I like it.
We might see a Great O'Khan title run at some point. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about, who do we want to see Goto face for that title, and like I'm hella interested in seeing Great O'Khan versus Goto.
Sure, absolutely. I think and when we talk about Tsuji, I think it's clear, like with the draw, him and Gabe ain't done yet. Hey, like you don't just
no sir.
Yeah. So
I'll watch that. I'll watch that 4 more times. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, they might have a bit of a back and forth for a while, and that's really cool. If they're
that might be Wrestle
level,
Kingdom. That might be Wrestle Kingdom.
Might play out over the course of a year. Yeah.
Yeah, keep them separate. Put them in different blocks in the G1.
But they've always got a fucking eye on each other, kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm into it. Alrighty, and then we obviously already broke down a little bit the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match. Hiroki Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr., new champion. This match, though, we kind of just talked about the result and what it meant for Goto and things like that. This match was fucking killer, dude. This was some of the hits as well, like so brutal. Like Zack dropped a fucking Zack driver on him that I thought had killed Goto at one point. He got murdered himself so many times. He sold Goto lariats and fucking, Y2Gs and whatever all that bullshit is that he does, GTRs and stuff like that. Like death. Like absolute death. The fighter, what he took, he sort of like jumped his legs in the air at the same time. It just looked like he'd been cut in half. It was absolutely
The
devastating.
let's not sell the sell Goto short either for his selling.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah.
when he had Goto and Clarky Cat, and Goto is just sitting there just like screaming.
Is Clarky
I
Cat the
was
one
just
on
like,
the ground where he was like completely wrapped up, and it's
has his
like he
arms
doesn't.
like bent back, like yeah,
Yeah, and he's on his side, and like every
and he's
single limb is torn up, and I'm like, no, this is it. I'm like, come on, go. And then he fucking manages to get one loose. I was like, let's go. Like, I thought that was
yeah,
it.
dude.
Because Zach
I thought it was
ends
it.
matches like that, like all the time. So
He does, and that's why we had to come back and talk about that for you, because we couldn't give up on talking about this show, because Goto never gave up. Goto didn't give up there. He
that's it.
didn't give up 9 years ago when he lost his eighth time
No.
trying to get a fucking victory for the world heavyweight title, and he never gave up ever on his not on Yoshihashi or anybody. He never gave up. He's a champion. And so
That's
we
it.
never gave up. And we are the Ichiban Sweetcast. I'm your good friend, Curtis Spears. That's your bad friend, Ray Houston.
Oh yeah, we forgot to do that. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Anybody, if you're listening for the first time, we quite often forget to tell people what show they're listening to. Sometimes even the whole episode has passed and we do it in the sign off. So yeah, that's kind of a ongoing joke, but it's not even one that we do on purpose. We're just very bad at it.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
very good at this whole podcasting thing. Like I said, we took like a month off.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So let's just do a little bit of predictions or things that we'd like to see. Who would you like to see? We know there's going to be Tanahashi. We know there's going to be Nagata. Who would you like to see, or who do you think we'll see as like the first really credible challenger? And I'll throw a hat in the ring, and I think that David Finlay is a very, very real dangerous possibility for Hiroki Goto at the moment.
yeah, I mean, like we've got New Japan Cup season coming up, and maybe we're about to see David Finlay come back and take the New Japan Cup, and challenge Goto. Like you said, it might be a quick end for Goto's title reign that way. Like it seems like the thing, there's problems from all sides.
Yeah.
The young guys are all about to take a step up, multiple of them. David Finlay is looking dangerous. You know, there's always Zach, who could just win another New Japan Cup and come right back at you.
Or, I mean, there may even be a fucking rematch or something very soon. Like, Zach could win it straight back for all we know. I just think that,
Absolutely.
like, you know, there's a couple of token defenses there, and that history and that story where he couldn't quite get it done against David Finlay, I feel like it makes sense that would come back around. Finlay would be like, I beat this motherfucker 1,000,000 times. Surely I'm
Yeah,
next.
he got one over me and fucking Hurricane Hall for and now he's the champ. Now he's the fucking wall.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
Finlay could also be a very realistic IWGP world title holder this year. I think.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I hate that the second we get a new champion, we all start looking around going, okay, who's next? You know, who's
I
going to
just think
take it
it's
off
the
him?
natural conversation. I don't want to think about it just yet. I want to enjoy the Goto-ness for a while. I'd actually love to see
The Gotosity.
yeah, I'd love to see a bit of a run from him, to be honest. Like I was describing at the start. Like just like the
Absolutely.
fucking old man gunslinger, old man Logan, just surviving all these like young dudes. And each guy takes another piece off him, you know, and he gets weaker and weaker like throughout the year. And he's like barely surviving these things by the end, but he's just getting it done. Like I think there's a really great story to tell there. Whether they'll do that, I don't know, but I would actually personally love to see it.
I'm just so happy that they actually fucking listened. Like, how many times have you and I sat on this very show, the Ichiban Sweetcast, sat on this very show and said, belt up this guy, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And we got one.
Yeah,
It was like
we got
Ghostbusters. We got one.
We got it. We were calling for it. We were like, these motherfuckers don't see it. Why aren't we fucking putting something on Godo, you know? And here we are. And it out. I should never say that shit again because it outperformed my wildest dreams of what they would actually do. So
It really did.
yeah. So I think it's safe to say New Beginning was a huge success. I think it's a new, exciting champion.
Was it
New, exciting,
better than Wrestle
old,
Kingdom?
exciting champion? Was it better than Wrestle Kingdom? That's an interesting thing to say, actually.
I think the show was better than Wrestle Kingdom.
Maybe. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom's Wrestle Kingdom, though. It was really good. But I
It was.
don't know.
But
I think
Osaka Joe Hall was fucking hot, dude.
I think,
And like the Wrestle Kingdom, like I was bummed at Wrestle Kingdom because we had the Doki incident and stuff like that.
yeah, sure.
And that really brought it down for me, and I was very sad about that.
Yeah.
But also like Osaka Joe, like it like went fucking shithouse. Every match fucking delivered. And some of them delivered way more than they had any right to. I just think I think the show built so fucking well. There wasn't one spot where I was like, oh, wrong guy won. Like there wasn't one spot that took me out of it. I watched that entire show and just was like, this is fucking greatness, man.
Yeah, it was really fun. And
This made me love New Japan.
Yeah, and I think because it was New Beginning, you don't always expect that much. And they've now, every big show they've done, like in recent months, has gone off, to greater and greater heights. So yeah, I think it was definitely really good. And yeah, fuck, maybe it was better than Wrestle Kingdom. I think Wrestle Kingdom, back to back doggies. Back to back over the 2 days, with Dynasty, if you add in Kenny and Gabe and things like that, I think the whole weekend experience is probably like better because you just love to see it kind of thing. But as a one-off show, this one was right and tight, and you can't really go past it.
I feel like in December this year, we're going to be looking back at this and being like, that was
That was a banger. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's break down the New Japan Cup announcements. They've already come out, which is crazy.
Before we do that, we have to acknowledge that New Japan Cup announcement day, that's our birthday. The Ichiban Sweetcast.
It is our birthday. Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to the Ichiban Sweetcast. Became a thing when the New Japan Cup for 4 years ago, 2021 was announced, and it had 1 million people in it, and you were like, we need to fucking sit down on Faces Feels Cast.
Yeah, on my podcast, I was like, you need to come talk to me about it.
Break this shit down because I'm feeling like this is garbage.
Yeah.
And that was the first unofficial episode of the Ichiban Sweetcast.
That is true.
And
that turned out to be one of my favorite New Japan Cups in the end. Because remember, we were like, why have they got all these there's no guests, they've pulling all the fucking dregs out of the woodworks and everybody's fucking in it, and and
fucking Jato's in this. What the fuck?
And it turned out to be really fun. And this one is kind of the same. It's a really big fucking field, but it's all New Japan guys. There's no guests here. There's no AEW talent. They're all New Japan guys. So let's have a look. We're going to break down each side of this, and then it's a bit of a tradition for us to do our best case, worst case scenarios. Okay?
We need to get a jingle for the best case, worst case.
Yeah, I know we do. Exactly. I'll just get a fucking voice up or something. So something like best case, worst case, rah, 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 something like that. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll workshop that. So, on the left-hand side of the bracket, we are starting with Yoda Tsuji, Evil, David Finlay, Yuya Uemura, Sanada, Yoshihashi, Ryohei Oiwa, Chase Owens, Zack Sabre Jr., Gabe Kidd, Ren Narita, and Tai Chi. And it is worth saying that there's buys in there as well. So I fucking actually read that terribly. But Yoda Tsuji versus Evil, David Finlay is waiting for the winner of that. Yuya Uemura versus Sanada, Yoshihashi. How's Yoshihashi get a buy? Yoshihashi is waiting for the winner of that. Oiwa and Chase Owens, Zack Sabre Jr. is waiting for the winner. Gabe Kidd and Narita, Tai Chi is waiting for the winner. So let's just run down this side real quick. What are you thinking about Yoda Suji versus Evil?
I think that they're really kind of establishing some crazy shit with the House of Torture right now.
Yeah.
When they came out and jumped fucking everybody after
Yeah,
the Yoda
including War Dogs
Suji.
members.
Yeah, they jumped Gabe, they jumped Yoda. They like I love that the Evil comes out to like make the save on Yoda Suji and then is like, haha, fooled you. I'm actually a bad guy.
And everyone's like, we know. And like, wasn't
Yeah.
he banished from New Japan or something from like losing to Tanahashi? He's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show up. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like you played yourself.
Yeah.
You weren't fooling nobody.
No,
So
wasn't fooling anybody. And I believe what he essentially said was that House of Torture are kicking War Dogs out of the Bullet Club.
yeah,
Is what he
no
said.
longer affiliated. They're no longer affiliated with Bullet Club. I think he said that House of Torture is actually no longer affiliated with Bullet Club.
So Bullet Club just isn't a thing, and House of Torture want nothing to do with War Dogs. Is basically what they're saying.
Yeah, they're
Either that or
officially
they own
separate
Bullet
entities.
Club, and he's the only leader. Don't know which way it goes, but either way, they're not
Looks like
tentative allies anymore.
Bullet Club is being phased out. Maybe we'll have like our own Rogue Army faction instead of Bullet Club Rogue Army. It'll just be the Rogue Army, maybe, and then they'll have just the War Dogs and just the House of Torture.
Okay, then. Well, there you go. That's interesting about the Rogue Army thing because I was like, there's a couple of people on this list that I'm like, what they going to do if they're not that? So, but yeah, and then obviously David Finlay waiting in the wings, which is interesting because Finlay obviously has history with Suji and the global title, who he won it from Finlay, but also Evil just fucking saying all that shit about War Dogs. So really, there's consequences whoever Finlay versus out of that.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario. Well, let's go. Worst case scenario, obviously, I think would be Evil beating out Yoda Suji, just because we would get less Yoda Suji matches. And best case scenario here is definitely Yoda Suji winning. As far as the best case, worst case scenario for the David Finlay match, I think the best case would still be. No, I don't know. Would the best case be Yoda Suji beating David Finlay?
No, I think Finlay going forward.
Is that the best case, or is
Yeah.
that just what you think will happen? Because it's not what we think will happen; it's what we want to happen.
I think that's best case. I feel like it starts to get muddy with Finlay and Suji and Evil, and then like if it is Suji and Finlay beats him and has a claim to that global title, but Gabe kind of isn't finished yet, and he's allied to Finlay, it starts getting muddy, you know. And I think that's interesting. Could end up with a three-way with like Finlay and Gabe and Suji for the global or something like. You could do some cool things, I think.
Yeah, I don't like that. Let's go. Let's just best case scenario is David Finlay making it out either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And worst case scenario, I think, is
Evil.
probably Evil.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping down a bracket, Uemura versus Sonata, with Yoshihashi waiting. I think it's pretty clear that Sonata would be my personal worst case. Don't know about you, but I think we want to see Yuya go deep in this fucking tournament, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
we do.
Yuya and Yoshihashi, again, Yuya would be the best case scenario there. Worst case would remain Sonata getting quite deep.
Yes.
Then we'll just kind of finalize this part of the bracket. Then on our best case, you'd be looking at Finlay versus Yuya, which that match that was supposed to happen, obviously. Finlay was calling him out, but he knew Yuya was injured. Now Yuya is back and not injured. So that's been a confrontation that's been coming for a while, and I think that would be a very nice semi-final.
That seems not just like the best case scenario. It seems like a very reasonable scenario.
Yeah,
that could be like down the card. That could be very very easily to see that actually happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. So yeah, and I think that would be best. So we'll just do
Worst
this
case scenario: Evil versus Sonata again.
Yeah, we have to see it, and my worst case would be Sonata. Always is. Oiwa versus Chase Owens. We don't even need to talk about that. The grip over Owens very easy. Then you get to have the grip versus ZSJ.
The
Uh,
the grip.
yeah, exactly. Kohai versus Senpai. And then, I mean, the best case is hard there because I love both guys. Let's actually look at our best case below, and then that might inform what our best case would be. Worst
Okay.
case is obviously Chase Owens getting really far. So Gabe Kidd versus Narita. Best case is always Gabe Kidd. Worst case is Narita. Not that he's bad. Then Tai Chi versus Gabe. Best case, we just want to see Gabe go as far as he can, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm.
Oh, because you know what would look really fucking opulent?
Yeah. I love
Tai
Tai
Chi
Chi,
with a
man, but
big fucking New Japan Cup.
they're not really pushing him at the moment, so there's nothing that like I just don't
Would
know.
that line up? That would line up Tai Chi versus Yuya, wouldn't it?
It would. Or so depending on which way you look at those best cases, there's the potential here for it to be Finlay versus Gabe or Tai Chi versus Yuya.
I'm not really interested in either of those yet. Like, I want Gabe to eventually break off from the War Dogs, but like,
Hmm.
not yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Wait, it's
I,
like the touch of God.
yeah,
Wait.
I'm not saying he should leave War Dogs and it should be the end of the faction. I just think you can start to muddy the waters a little bit. A little bit of dissension never hurt nobody. But so are you saying that this is where our best cases diverge? I'm saying
No,
Kid and
no,
you're
because
saying
we need to
Taichi?
come up with a best case. We need to come up with a podcast best case, consensus best case scenario. Because then if I have my own best case and you have your own best case and we're working them all out, nah, fuck that. We need one. We need a clear vote.
Okay. So either way,
Make your
whoever,
case.
Gabe Kid or Tai Chi, oh wait, it just wrote itself. Because it'd be the grip or Zack Sabre Jr.'s best case. You have Zack go through, and then you finally get Zack and Tai Chi in the ring
Zack and
together.
Tai Chi. Oh, you
Yeah.
just did my work for me.
There you go.
Let's go.
All right. So that means on this side of the block, as of semi-finals, we are looking at Finlay versus Yuya and Zack versus Tai Chi as our best cases.
I love that.
Yeah. That
I love that.
is very
The
good.
Finley versus Yuya is great. Zack and Taichi is great. The sacrifice that we make of Gabe going farther, wow, that makes me sad. But we're interested in Gabe in the global space at this time. So
Yeah.
like we don't need him to go far in this tournament. Although tournament Gabe is so much fun.
Yeah.
Did I just do a flip? I just did a flip.
Look, I mean, it's very hard. We need to get Zack and Tai Chi together in some way, right? Like, we
Yes.
just have to do it. And if it's got to be at the expense of Gabe is he's Teflon, man. Like,
Yeah, I don't think they're able to make a bad movement here, and he would still get a first round victory. Like he'd beat Ren, right? It's Ren that he's
yeah.
up against.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, yeah, that would, I think, be fine. So if Gabe does get through, obviously I would fucking love him to win the whole tournament. But in this exercise, we're going with those as our best case, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then in our worst case, we're looking at Sonata versus Evil and what? Narita versus Chase Owens. Jesus,
Oh
that's grim.
God. So then I think that Chase would be the worst case scenario, and then Evil would be the worst case scenario, leading us to a match between Chase and Evil.
Do you reckon Evil is worse than Sonata? At least Evil's got sick merch. Like, Sonata's a fucking
Evil
idiot.
does have sick merch.
Yeah.
Sonata has sick merch too now though, because he's
Does he?
got War Dogs merch.
Yeah, it's still not that good. That dumb kind of shitty American traditional bad tattoo kind of shirt is not good.
Oh yeah, that one he was wearing this time. Yeah. I was so distracted by the fucking speakers.
Yeah.
He looked like that boombox that everyone had when they were fucking 14.
Yeah.
The one that had like a 3 disc changer in it, and it was silver, and it had like the EQ like readout that wasn't real.
Yeah,
Like that's what he looked like.
that's exactly what he looked like. So I am going to say my absolute worst case on that side is going to end up with Sonata versus Chase.
Oh, oh,
And then
ooh!
over
I just had a
on,
full body shiver.
yeah, I know. And then over on best case, Finlay versus Yuya and ZSJ versus Tai Chi. Who you thinking?
Oh, let's go Yuya versus ZSJ.
Okay.
Fucking classic, fucking catch as catch can
Yeah.
versus wrestling fundamental master.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man, that
good.
sounds good to
That's
me.
good. All right. Then uh Yuya versus ZSJ. Who wins that?
Hmm.
Like I think fucking we want to see Yuya go deep in this tournament. I think we want him in the finals. He
I
got
think we
injured
want him in the
last
finals.
year, and Zach's just been the champion. So I think
I think we
Yuya
want him in the finals.
and then Sonata versus Chase. Now you've got me because normally Sonata's always my worst case, but don't you forget about the fucking ace of worst cases, Chase Owens.
Oh,
This is the
oh
chase push.
man.
We get back into the fucking 5 counts with the pile drivers and shit.
You're
Huge
making me
chase
throw up in
push.
my mouth.
Huge chase push is the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, we're going to leave it there. We're going to jump over to the other side, and then we'll break down the kind of final. Actually, you know what? Let's just get it to our finalist here. Oh, well, actually, no. What am I fucking talking about? We
That
just
is
did.
Chase.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Yuya
Yuya,
and
best
Chase are the
case. Yeah, semis, and then yeah, okay, cool, and then Chase. All right, over to the other side. We have El Phantasmo versus Great Okan with Shooter Umino with the bye. Then we've got Naito versus Newman with Jeff Cobb with the bye. We've got Ishii versus Driller with TJP in the bye. Bolton Oleg versus Bad Luck Fale with Shingo in the bye.
That sounds like a fucking banger of a side too. The left side of the bracket was great.
Yeah. There's a couple of chinks in this one, but let's break it on down. So ELP,
I think once you get past, yeah,
yeah, ELP versus Okan. Who's your best case here?
I oh, I'm loving the Okan wins everything right now, but I also want a feel good story for ELP.
Mm.
Oof, I'm gonna leave this one to you, buddy.
ELP's already got a belt.
That's true. He's got the television
So
title.
you could have Okan get a win, a crafty win, potentially set up a future title challenge, and then Okan moves on to go deeper. So I would say Okan's my best scenario in this one.
I won't fight you on that. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. And then Okan versus Shooter. We don't know what this shooter is gonna be. And they've just had this conflict where he's fucking emasculated the man and shaved his head. So, best case, worst case, Okada or Shooter. It really just depends. All we can go by is what we know. As it currently
Okay,
stands,
let's
I
do
would
this.
say worst case is Shooter, but I just don't know.
What we think it's gonna be. You seem to think it's gonna be him going back to basics, which I think is boring as fuck and would be a worst case scenario.
I didn't say back to basics. I said strip back and then sort of starting again with what his gimmick is. So, yeah, I don't know.
If he goes back to shaved head black trunks, dude, I'm
Yeah.
not about it.
Okay. Then, which case, Great Okan remains our best case scenario and Shooter
Yes.
becomes our worst. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
so weird that ELP getting a win in the New Japan Cup is a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
That shows you like the quality of some of the talent that New
Yeah.
Japan has
That's
right now.
a hard block because we love them both. But yeah, and ELP is not worst. I just think he's got a title. He's over there doing his thing. He's probably not going to win the New Japan Cup, and I would rather see big things for Okan.
For sure.
Next up, Naito versus Newman. Now, I think you're probably thinking the same way I am here. I think Newman
Yes.
is the best case scenario here.
Absolutely. It's so funny to see someone who is so fucking fast versus Naito.
I know. And it also could potentially set up a title defense. Like
Didn't Naito just fucking absolutely dog walk Newman recently, like just a couple months ago?
yeah, he did. Yeah, like his first pay-per-view kind of thing. Yeah.
Let's get that
Would
win
like to
back
see
for
that win
Callum.
back. And then,
Tangent.
yeah.
I have a friend, my friend Andrea. He's the he was a wrestler over here called Crimson Bear. He's a big
Okay.
burly ginger fella.
Okay.
I think it's Crimson Bear wrestles on
Shout out.
Instagram.
Mhm.
Shout him out here. He did retire recently from injuries and stuff like
Oh,
that
sorry to
over
hear it.
COVID,
Yeah.
but he had he's I was playing MCP with him the other day, and he was like talking about, oh yeah, you're a New Japan guy, right? He's like, here, let me show you this clip of my match with Callum Newman, and he had nothing but great stuff to say about Callum Newman.
Oh, that's good.
He said that the dudes, he's like, Callum Newman's kicks look really good. They're fucking so soft and so safe. Like he looks great and is so safe and is so much fun and such a great worker to work with and stuff. He had nothing but great stuff to say about Callum Newman.
Mhm.
So that was really, really cool. Although I did see he had a great picture of himself absolutely yeeting fucking Callum Newman in a release German suplex.
Oh, that's great.
So that was pretty fucking rad.
Nice.
So
Shout
yeah,
out
shout out to
Crimson
my boy
Bear.
Crimson Bear.
Absolutely. That's sick. Um, well, that speaks good things. But does that goodwill make you want to see Newman beat Cobb?
Oh, is that the second? Is that the second one?
That's who's
Oh,
waiting for him. Yeah.
Callum versus Cobb. So we got a little senpai kohai action
Yeah.
there too.
And if
Um,
Okada's our best case as it cruises on, you'll lead to one way or another a United Empire explodes type scenario.
I think this is a good story. Let's get some people like kind of jockeying for position inside the United
I mean,
Empire.
I literally just said that about War Dogs, and you're like, I don't like it. You're like, United Empire, let's
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think because people want to see people. Teddy Bear. We're not going to break up the War Dogs. I promise.
He's a
No,
very
no.
passionate
I
War
think
Dog supporter. I know that about
he
Teddy.
is.
Yeah.
So are the dogs next door
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So maybe you should fill this one in.
I know what you're saying though, and especially in the place that United Empire is in, with different people saying they want to be the leaders and different things like that. Let's actually just see it out in the New Japan Cup here. So I'm going to say Cobb to best case to go on to fight Okada, our best case above. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think. And are we going with Okan becoming the ultimate best case scenario?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dig it.
And then worst case scenario, Naito beats both those dudes. And then I would say Shooter or Naito would be a worst case scenario. Probably Naito. I don't think we need to be seeing him like
we don't.
up and
We don't
amongst.
need to be seeing Naito right now.
Yeah, he's just needs
We
to
don't
do.
need to see him go deep.
Yeah,
all.
not at all. No, we've seen it all before. Okay, so then that we're basically getting down to Jeff Cobb. Sorry, Okan ends up as our very best case. Naito ends up
Quarterfinalist,
as
yeah.
our very worst case. Yep, absolutely. Okay. So I'm just making some quick on the fly notes here. Okay, chase you up. All right. Cool.
What isn't there another part of that bracket?
So just in good times, Okan beats ELP and Shooter. Cobb beats Naito. Then Okan beats fucking Cobb, and then there we are.
Oh, okay. So Fale's not in the New Japan Cup. It's just Chase.
No, he is in the next section. We're just in the top bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
We're just in the top two brackets.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we've got. Yeah.
So
right.
so far
Okay.
we have established our.
We've gotten lost here.
Yeah, exactly. So far we have established that our best case over on the left hand side is Yuya, and so far as we've gotten so far, it's Okan. But this next ones below will establish that. So next up, it's Ishii versus Driller Maloney. That is a absolutely great choice for Driller if he's coming in and killing dudes like Shingo and things like that. I think I'd love to see him steamroll Ishii here.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be really impressive when he just like gets him, gets Ishii up on his shoulders and just compacts that no neck
Yeah,
that Ishii
just
has.
takes a
And,
small
like,
Eggman and destroys him. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be so much
yeah,
fun.
exactly. And then Driller over TJP, obviously. Um, they've had beef forever, but I think
Yeah.
Driller covered through. There is something to be
People
said for like
people can jockey
TJP.
for position.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
can jockey for position in the United Empire, but we don't need TJP in there doing that.
yeah, yeah. Even if he wants to, like, I mean, there's a scenario where they could, if they wanted to play it out, you could end up with TJP versus Cobb and Cobb murderizing him. But I think Driller just mowing him down is totally fine.
That would be a best case scenario for me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually.
Absolutely. Next up, Oleg versus Bad Luck Fale. I think we're probably in pretty heavy agreement that Oleg
Look how
would be
they
the best case.
massacred my boy.
Yeah. I think Oleg here, best case for sure.
Oleg. Woof. Woof. That's an oof, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Brett, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Like, Fale is another year older now.
Yeah.
Another year, like, less, another year less mobile, another year less interested in taking bumps. And like, that's what Oleg needs, is a dude who can, he can throw around a little bit.
I think
Oof.
it'll be like a bit of an Andre moment here. I think he'll get it with a
Misplay.
big slam, whatever. And then Oleg versus Shingo.
Ooh, okay. Tough. Let's go. Ooh. Is there another little bit of the bracket that we can fill out there to see who we would want him to
Yeah,
match up
so
against?
whoever those guys, like whoever wins out of those guys will go on to fight Driller in our best case.
Oh, Shingo versus Drilla rematch,
Yeah.
or Oleg versus Drilla.
Yeah.
I would be more interested in seeing Oleg versus Drilla, since we just got Shingo versus Drilla.
Yeah.
But like, I'm happy either way, really. I'm gonna say my preference would be for Oleg versus Drilla.
I'll let you have this one. You've let me run a little bit wild, and I like to see a young dude moving up, get a bit of an upset. So best case then, Driller versus Oleg. I personally would be pulling for Driller. I would love to see him go deep in this competition, and then that would lead to Driller versus Okan.
I'd like to establish Drilla. I think Oleg still, he's simmering, right? They need to put a little more sauce, a little more seasoning on him. Let's go for Drilla versus Okan.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I'm gonna say Okan is I think would be the preferred New Japan Cup. Was it semifinalist there?
Hear me out though. In your best case, we've got Yuya waiting there in the finals now. So would you prefer to see Yuya versus Okan or Yuya versus Driller? Just two fucking young bucks.
Oh, that is a very sweet match, actually.
Yeah.
Yuya versus Drilla.
Mm.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
Fuck
say
it.
Yuya versus Drilla.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done it again. You've done it again, you
I know,
madman.
and we got there. And then in worst case, we had drilled down to Naito. I think it's pretty safe to say that down the bottom, it'd be TJP and then Bad Luck Fale would be the two worst case. I think it'd be safe to say that Fale would probably be the worst case.
Fale would be worse, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're literally saying that our worst case final is the fucking Rogami explodes or whatever the fuck they were called, the crown jewels or whatever exploded. It's Fale versus Chase in the finals. It's our worst case.
They got dudes down there that can actually wrestle, right? Like, where's Caveman Ugg?
Where's he at? Where's he at? We're
Where's
not
he
we're not
at?
spending money on plane tickets, bruh. We're saving some cash. So okay, so best case, Yuya versus Driller. Are we saying we want to see Yuya win the New Japan Cup? Is that what this entire thing has been leading to? We're saying we want to see this launch a new boy, and we want to see Yuya fucking pop off with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is it.
And then
That's the fucking the mission
yeah,
is now Yuya to the next level.
okay,
Yuya
yeah,
to the fucking moon.
Yuya versus Goto title shot would be sick.
That would be fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So good.
Is that going to sell Dominion?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You think?
Bruh.
Let's go.
Come on.
Let's fucking go.
Then worst case, Chase versus Farley.
Chase.
I think it's safe to say that it's Chase. At least Farley has some redeeming qualities. You know.
I mean, Chase has some redeeming qualities too. Package pile drivers are pretty cool.
Yeah. And we say all this in
Chase
jest. I just want to say I don't actually hate anybody on the roster. You know, we're going to give Chase.
I do.
Shit, obviously.
I hate him.
I actually hate Sonata, to be fair though.
I got a list of people that I'll fucking fight right now. You want to hear it? I'll start it. Here's my list.
Don't start it. Don't start it. We're not going that negative place. So,
okay,
all right. So best case, Yuya. Worst case,
Tony
Chase.
Khan. No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck. All right. So that's us then. There we go. We did it. We worked it out. It was kind of insane. Anybody following along probably had no idea what we were talking about. But yeah, so
they're just like, oh, they're just saying names of wrestlers they like.
Yeah, over and over.
We're like those two dudes sitting in the bar, like just mentioning like old sports stars from their youth.
Yeah.
You know, and just looking at each other and being like, Michael Jordan. Yeah.
That is what we're like. To be fair, I am not sure that is how it will go. This isn't a prediction. This is best case, worst case. Everybody does predictions.
What we think's going to happen. This is what we want to happen.
Exactly. So that is the key thing to remember here. We could do predictions.
We do not want to happen.
But or things we don't want to happen. But yeah, we're not going to do the prediction thing because I can kind of drill this down a little bit and tell you who I personally think is probably going to win. Yuya is actually up there as somebody that I think that could win. But yeah, that is not the point of this article. We'll let everybody draw all their own conclusions as they think what is really going to happen. Because guess what? In a world where Hiroki Goto can win the IWGP title, anything can fucking happen. And I love it. Tell the people where to find us online, Curtis.
Well, you can find us online on all the social medias at Ichiban Suite. You can find myself on Blue Sky and Instagram and Twitter. No, not Twitter. I don't do Twitter. Instagram and Threads. I'm kind of down on Threads as well right now. Blue Sky's really nice though. El Destructo 83 is my username on all the places. You can find my man Rafe there on the social medias under the Faces Feels Cast, which is his other
try to throw a peace sign at you and I smashed my microphone.
Yeah, which is his other show where he interviews various independent wrestlers, gets to know a different side of them, gets to really learn who they are behind the scenes, so you can become a fan of the person and not just their wrestling personality. It really pulls back the curtain and really shows a lot of fun moments with a lot of fun wrestlers. And you can find that show as well as this lovely show you're watching here as a member of the Count Out Podcasting Network. The Count Out Podcasting Network has something for everybody who is a fan of wrestling. Do you like Joshi? Do you like you like All Japan? What do you like? We got you. You like deathmatch wrestling? We got you. What do you like? And you can go, speaking of the Count Out Podcasting family, you can go to patreon.com/countoutpod where you can chuck in $1, just whatever you wouldn't miss if it fell out of your wallet one day. And that money, however much you want to give, goes to helping a lot of wrestlers, goes to help a lot of wrestling podcasters. There it is. Do a lot of wrestling podcast things, and it's very, very cool, and we appreciate every single one of you that does that. I'm sure that all of you have beautiful genitalia and are very popular with your friends.
Okay, thanks, I guess. That was a weird one. But he is correct, and you can do all
very
of those things where he said. So, everybody, thanks for listening. Don't even talk to me about being tired.
Dude, I've been awake for 20 hours now.
That
So
is true.
I'm ready to go to
That
bed.
is true. You are going to get some sleep tonight, though, which I love for you.
Hell yeah, I am. 3-day weekend.
Oh, that's all
let's
right.
go.
I'm going to have 4. I'll probably get some sleep on the plane, though. Maybe I get another 4 in there. That'd be so hot. That'll be the most sleep I've had in weeks. But yeah, we're going to do the damn thing. So everybody, thank you for listening. I hope you had a good time. Remember, rate and subscribe, listen or die. Spirit of fight, style of strong. Sweet cast.
Ichiban.
Ichiban.
Oh yeah.
This has been a Count Out Podcast. Every year, the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame receives a new crop of nominees, and a few of those wrestlers are added for the very first time. Welcome to The Ballot, a brand new podcast on the Count Out Network dissecting the pro wrestling careers of these first-time nominees on the Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame Ballot. This is a place where the conversations begin on whether or not these newbies are worthy of being considered true Hall of Famers. Join me, Ryan Knightsey, as I sit down with a guest every month and discuss if a wrestler has the skills, the stardom, and the significance to be considered one of the greats. Subscribe to The Ballot wherever you get podcasts and follow along to learn with me about the greatness of professional wrestling. Please enjoy the show.